What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rhea and Fran, giving you that Friday energy on a Monday. And we are only a couple weeks away from going on our West Coast tour. So make sure you guys go to the link in the description. Check out the cities that are still available. Some have sold out, and Seattle will be on sale this week. We're expecting a big turnout from Seattle, ladies and gentlemen. So get on board. I feel like a flight attendant right now. And I'm excited to start the show. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. I feel good. I hope everyone has a great week. We don't know what day those Seattle tickets are going on sale. Just we're hoping it's this week. So don't hold us to that. We think it's this week. It should be this week. But yeah, I'm starting to get very excited, nervous. I have so much packing anxiety for this trip that I don't even know where to start. Like, I don't have my outfits planned yet, which is already stressing me out. And then I have to figure out the outfits and then figure out how to pack them.
Is there any scenario where you check two bags, like two big suitcases?
Yeah.
Oh, you are?
It's No, I'm not. I'm trying not to, but it is possible.
There is no scenario where I do that. No scenario where I do that. I am far too lazy in an airport to be carrying around having to just worry about two suitcases. It scares me.
I know. I don't really want to. I don't even own two suitcases that are that big. Like, I have a big
We got
one
this though. We got this. Packing
and a carry-on.
Once you get the outfits. What is shoes? You're going to pack that many different pairs of shoes?
Well, what do you do? Like, it's 5 shows. I can't be wearing the same pair of shoes.
That's true. That is a good point, Francesca. You make a solid point.
Taking pictures in all the same shoes with the same different outfits.
We're going to be doing physical activities. You got to bring like sneakers and stuff.
I know.
You're right. Just in case I am swindled into climbing another mountain.
Well, I heard there's like good hikes.
Make sure you pack your Ugg slippers so you're ready.
Ready for some hikes.
I think there's a lot of good hiking in these areas that we're going.
Hey, maybe we should go on one.
No, I think we should.
I know. I know you're being serious. I understand that. So I will be sure to pack my workout shoes. But I think, you know what? Let's get into the show because
let's do it. We got a lot.
We got a lot to talk about. We will be talking about the Ultimatum, the new show on Netflix. So if you watch that, you'll love this segment. If you haven't and you don't want to be spoiled, then don't listen to that. We're going to be talking about Ben and Jen getting engaged. Will Smith is officially banned from the Oscars for 10 years. We have an awesome interview with Josh Peck, which was really fun. Got to know him a lot more. And a great game of Beat, Rhea, and Fran, where maybe some sour attitudes came out. But let's get into it, starting off with the Ultimatum.
I actually have a huge box of clothes I'm ready to send to ThredUp in my room right now. I want to talk to you guys about ThredUp. ThredUp is one of the largest online thrift stores where you can save up to 90% off estimated retail. Amazing shopping. You can get so many cool clothes. You can get these insane deals and the convenience of thrifting, but online, which is great. They have over 2 million new items to shop and thousands of new arrivals daily. It's the best place to shop for your wallet and the planet. You can customize your search by your style, size, and budget, so you can find the best deals from more than 35,000 brands like Banana Republic, Mabel, Nike, and Taylor Loft instantly. They have free, a lot of great Free People stuff on there as well. I always check out some of their items. ThredUp also has a very easy return policy, so they make thrifting worry-free. It's really great, guys. I highly recommend checking out ThredUp if you are somebody that loves the thrift stores or checking out the thrift stores. You can do it all on your phone. They have an app. It's great. So ThredUp is offering a deal just for new customers. So right now, head to thredup.com and get up to an additional 50% off plus free shipping on your first order. That's up to an extra 50% off plus free shipping on your first order just by heading to thredup.com. That's thredup.com for up to 50% off and free shipping on your first order.
So this new show is out on Netflix. It's called The Ultimatum, and it's marry or move on. So basically, a bunch of couples go on the show, And it's couples who have given the other significant other an ultimatum where they're like, you need to marry me or I'm out. And mind you, these are young couples who have been dating for 2 years, maybe 1.5, not like the couples that have been together for fucking 10 plus years. And they're like, all right, it's about time. Right. These people have, it's almost not, you're almost not ready at this time.
Right. It's like, was young. They're all like most of them are in their mid-20s. The longest relationship is like 2.5 years. And there's like 23-year-olds making the ultimatum that you gotta marry me or move on.
I was like, what am I watching? This is a 23-year-old and 26-year-old couple who have been dating for 2 years. And they're like, you need to marry me or move on. And then my initial thought was, if you're even coming on this show in the first place, you guys should not be together. But that is why we love reality TV, because we got to witness some crazy shit. The whole premise was really insane. They had all these couples come together and then basically act as swingers, where they all mixed and matched couples for all the same people were going through all the same thing, and then had them choose somebody other than their significant other to live with for 3 weeks in a trial marriage. And then after that,
move
back into the same situation with your actual boyfriend or girlfriend for 3 weeks and see how you feel. Like, if you felt like you wanted to be with the other person, if you want to be with your original, or you don't want to be with either.
The show, so we have the first 8 episodes are out, which we have watched. So once again, I'm going to double down what Rhea said before, that if you don't want us, like if you don't want to hear about what actually happens in those 8 episodes, watch it and then come back to this segment. Wednesday of this week, we get to see how everything ends. There's like the 9th episode is like the finale, and then 10 is the reunion. And I think both come out on Wednesday. But it's like, yes, the fact that I don't know. It's crazy to go on a show like this. The show is so toxic. It's so toxic because these couples are all so toxic. Like, none of them have good relationships or like good communication or anything. It's great when they're like mingling and deciding on who to pick. The fact that that table, when they were all making the choice about who they were going to live with for the 3 weeks, was so ridiculous to watch. When Hunter proposed like at the table, and then it just felt like Nate, all of his choices were getting taken and he didn't have anyone left, so he just proposed to Lauren. Like, and they were probably the couple that actually felt like had the most legitimate problem, where it came down to one person wants kids and one person doesn't want kids. Like a fundamental disagreement like that. Your relationship is not going to work if you cannot make that decision or like have a joint agreement. There's no compromise on having or not having kids. Like, because you either don't want them or you do want them. And him just like, they didn't talk. They didn't go through the experiment. They didn't have the conversations. They didn't even talk it out themselves. He just proposed after Hunter did. And everyone was like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Nate and Hunter were the most like 2 boring men to be on the planet for some reason. They were like this.
I didn't like Nate. Bad
generic, boring people I've ever seen. But besides that, you're right. The other couples there had problems where it was like, one's not really ready to get married yet, but one day they're going to get there. Yeah. One is like, I want to be financially stable before I get married. Very fair. This one is like, when it comes down to it, if somebody wants a family and doesn't want a family, that is a huge problem, right? Like, like you can't just, never mind, don't want a family anymore within 5 minutes of sitting here. So I thought that was so funny because they thought that they just copied the other couple, and they were like, you only did that because they're taking April flipped out. April flipped a shit. Yeah. This was maybe the only time I ever really agreed with April during this show, was in this moment when she was calling them out and said that she's there for a reason, and they should be going through the experience like everybody else and how they took away their moment. I agreed with April there. The rest of the show, oh my God. There was not one person that I actually necessarily liked, maybe besides Ray. I think I liked Ray a lot.
Yeah.
And even though I felt like she was a little immature sometimes, but nobody really was like, I really like these people. And I think that happens a lot on these shows. Like Love is Blind, I felt the same way. This show, I felt that way. Madeline and Kobe, Madeline's friend, I want to know if you agree or if other people agree. So Madeline chooses Randall, and she's like so attracted to Randall, and she introduces Randall to her friends.
Right. And
now,
Colby's the one that issued the ultimatum.
Yeah.
He's like one of the only guys that issued the ultimatum out of the couples.
He issued the ultimatum. He's like, Madeline's the only one for me, blah, 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 blah. And she introduces Randall to her friends. And she's like super attracted to Randall. And then one of her friends is like, I hooked up with Colby once. He wasn't memorable. Randall is so much more memorable or rememberable. I don't even know what word she used, and I don't feel memorable, right? Rememberable.
Yeah.
That's not a word.
Memorable.
And she's talking about how attractive Randall is. She's like, I mean, I would do it if I was Randall. We know you do it. We know you do it because you did Colby too. You'll do any of Madeline's boyfriends.
Oh my God.
I just felt like she wanted her to be with Randall so that she could have a shot with Colby. And she was calling Colby not memorable because Colby must have ghosted her ass and went for Madeline. And she's still trying to get Colby back in her life. That's what I took from this girl.
Those two, just absolute craziness. I feel like Madeline,
they're not meant for each other at this point in time.
Yeah, and you know, there were couples get through this, I guess, kind of get through this, and you know, we'll see what fully happens. But these people are all so immature and making these decisions in these relationships. Like, I truly cannot believe that this was things that were like happening before these people wanted to get married. Like, also craziness, because the concept is nuts that they are like going out and have their phones and like living their life. So it's like, oh, when they switched, because Colby and April were together and they like didn't totally pick each other, they kind of like fell into each other. Colby was like going out and going to the club and hooking up with a girl, and then Madeline finds the text messages with the girl, and Colby's excuse of like, I did this for you is such bullshit. I'm glad Madeline finally was like, no, that's not a thing. Like, that's just not a thing. And he just doubled down so hard and looked like such an idiot.
Yeah, I didn't think that any of these couples should be together. And another note that I had was, why didn't they film the in-between of them going to the club?
I know.
Jake was recording Ray's ass and twerking in the club, and they didn't have that. They didn't have April talking.
Zay's out all night.
They didn't have Zay staying until 8 o'clock in the morning. They didn't have him out. They don't have Colby making out with the girl at the club. I'm like, what were they thinking, not including any of this in the show? So that was one problem I had with it. I was like, how is this all of this happening? But there were no cameras there. I guess maybe that's the only way they would think that shit would actually happen. But still, we missed out on some decade. This could have brought this show to a whole new level if they followed them out. So I feel like maybe they didn't, though. Maybe it's like a budget thing. Like, this is the first time the show's going to be out. So maybe they're like, all right, we don't have the budget to bring the cameras to the club and shut down all these clubs and do the whole thing. Whereas other shows that have been around for a while, they can do that. So I think they have to see the reaction to this show. But I think it would have brought it to a whole new level. We would have actually seen what happened. Because there's a lot of he said, she said.
Netflix totally just like does this thing to now where they just are experimenting with new reality shows. And it feels like there are some kinks that they have to work out on. It's just like they're filming all these shows in Austin too. And it must just be crazy. I feel like they're just filming different reality shows like down there at all times. But not only did they all swap and live with different people for 3 weeks, like there were clearly connections made in the other swaps. And for them all, like midway through, like right before they're all ready to switch back, to have them have like a girls' night and a boys' night, and they have to sit there and talk about like kissing the girl's boyfriend that's sitting across from you, and they're like, oh, like how was, like, it was so crazy to me that these girls, I don't know how it didn't erupt in tears, like literally fighting. I imagine you're sitting at a table and the girl across from you is like, yeah, you know, we kissed. He's getting hard in bed. The amount of time these people said the word boner in this show, obscene amount of boners.
I was going to bring that up when Ray brought up to Zay that he got a boner when he was cuddling with Shanique. And I was like, first of all, why the fuck would Shanique tell somebody that he got a boner? No shit, he got a boner, right? Like, what and then when Ray was giving Zay shit for getting a boner, I was like, and he was like, well, you know, I'm attracted to women. I was like, that is maybe the only time I agreed with Zay, because I was like, if they're cuddling in bed and touching each other, the chances of him getting a boner just from the sheer fact of like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
guys, their peepees are crazy. I feel like they just, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like
there's not a lot of control over those bad boys.
Right. I just feel like it just happens. And so the fact that she kept bringing it up, and I just thought that was nuts for Shanique to say. Like, I would never be like, no matter if this, like, in just hooking up with a guy situation, I'm not going back to my friends and being like, yeah, we were cuddling and like he got a boner. Like, that's not groundbreaking news.
Just like absolutely insane that the amount of times that this show said that these girls and got like talked about getting hard. Like, it was actually ridiculous.
And not even getting hard, but it was like boner. Like,
yeah, though, like a heartbeat. Like, they were like, the word boner was said at least 20 times.
Saying the word boner feels like I'm being like naked right now. Like I'm standing naked in an open field when you say the word boner. It just feels like it reveals everything.
It really just did not make any sense. So we now have to see like what couple actually works. And Ray and Zay, I didn't realize that that was Ray and Zay. They're broken up. She clearly likes Jake. We're gonna see what happens there with April and Jake. I like the only couple that I actually think from the swap that I was like, oh, I think there is actually potential is Ray and Jake. Everybody else, I was like, Madeline, I don't think is ready for any kind of relationship.
Madeline needs to be single.
I like Randall a lot, but it also felt like, you know, he and Shanique were getting into these ridiculous arguments as well when it came to like kissing or just like being, there's just a lot of immature arguments, which is fine. You're allowed to have immature arguments, but it was just crazy that it's all like all from these, you know, wanting to actually get married. And
none of these couples are ready to get married in any way, shape, or form. No. It was, and that's how you know.
It might be Alexis and Hunter. Like, they might be the only ones from that early proposal. And we'll see obviously what happens from the reunion, but I would love to see like what Nate and Lauren's status is right now and what's been going on for them. But like after Zay stayed out all night, like Ray broke up with him. And April and Jake, like none of these couples.
None of them belong together.
None of these couples work.
None of them work. Ray and Jake should be together, and they're not a couple. They are soon, they might be, but none of them belong together.
Yeah, it's what a concept. And they kept like referring to, oh, like I brought him onto this show. Like this was my idea. He didn't want to do it. And then like that's the sign that your relationship is probably not going well if you apply to be on a show like this.
Yeah, that means.
And I get it, like you want to be on a Netflix reality show, because it does seem like there are some people that are maybe like want to be influencers or trying to be influencers. Like they kept referring to Zay, like having followers and being in like the nightlife world. And then I think April as well. So that's probably why they went on a show like this and dragged their significant other. And then like everybody's parents are involved. Like the parents are meeting the new people. Like, you know who was so sassy that I liked, but it was cracking me up, was Jake's mom. Like Jake's mom, like meeting Ray, was like so defensive of April. I was like, wow, okay, well, Jake's mom clearly likes April, but all the family members involved, it's pretty nuts. So we'll obviously talk about how it all ends, but bravo to Netflix once again, just coming up with another unbelievably ridiculous reality television show.
We are going back in time. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are officially engaged again. Here it is, guys. It happened.
I think there was like a overwhelming sense of not a lot of people caring. And I don't know if that's just because they're a couple that's gotten back together. So we're like, the shock value when it first happened was so big. And now we're just kind of used to it, but kind of a bizarre announcement as well. Like J-Lo did it in her J-Lo newsletter. So I don't know if she was also trying to get subscribers.
Absolutely trying to get subscribers. I think that I also was kind of like, all right, they're engaged. But because J-Lo's been engaged so many times now, and also because they've been engaged before, like it was a mixture of those two. Like anytime it's like J-Lo got engaged, it's like, okay, like Tristan Thompson cheated on Khloe Kardashian. Like you know that's coming. So I feel like.
And I don't know if they're actually going to get married.
I think they will. I think they will have a blowout wedding.
Yeah, there's some I've seen some articles floating around of like why they're not in a rush. And Ben had always said like he wasn't going to get married again. And I could see J-Lo maybe just like wanting the big ass ring to just have. This ring is insane. It's a green. First of all, we all know, like, yes, the iconic pink ring that was the first engagement ring that she got from Ben Affleck. Now we have this green ring that is a 8.5 carat natural green cushion modified brilliant cut diamond. It is very green. You could tell from, the video she posted.
Do you think he went to the same guy that he got the first ring from?
So I think he went to Beverly Hills Diamonds is the one that posted like on their Instagram saying it was my honor to be a part of this exciting journey. So I'm not quite sure, but apparently, and you never know, like this could be totally blown up majorly. Like I don't know what it actually could have had a deal, what it actually is, but apparently this ring has been estimated to cost almost double what the pink diamond was.
Well, he had to outdo the pink diamond.
Yes. So I saw something that believes this ring might be estimated to be around $10 million.
Holy shit. What's the point of that though?
I have no idea. It can't be that much. That feels insane.
To me, a $10 million ring is like just a waste of money. Like, I know that money really isn't a thing to them anyway, because they get so much all the time, but it just seems like a giant waste.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that $10 million for that feels like a made up number where they just like, what? I don't know. I don't get how a diamond like that is is so insane. But that's what it says, natural green stones with saturated hues are some of the rarest and most sought after. That's what the Beverly Hills Diamond Instagram says. So clearly this is maybe extremely rare. And that has played a big factor into it. But damn, I mean, they're engaged. They're engaged, those two. And I always love the jokes that's like, if Madison LaCroix didn't get involved, she could have still been with A-Rod and none of this would have happened. Like this all truly could be traced back to her, I think.
And you know what? I'm glad that it did.
Yeah. And like very happy for Ben and Jen. I think they make a great, like, I think clearly they have rekindled, and maybe this is some great grand love story and they're meant to be back together. But we'll see if I'm not quite sure about an actual wedding.
I think everyone's on the same page where we all want a little boost of energy when we wake up in the morning, in the middle of the day, just to get us through the day. Sometimes we got a lot to do. We got to work. We got to grocery shop. We got to take care of our pets. Some of you have kids out there. You need a little more energy to get you through the day. And that's where Bloom Nutrition makes it easy and delicious to give your body what it needs to make you feel your best inside and out. Their greens and superfood powder blend helps digestion, which I know we all can use help with, increases natural energy, and keeps your skin glowing. We all want to have that glowing skin. We all want that energy boost throughout the day. And I know that we all want to be feeling great with our digestion. So Bloom Greens are packed with over 50 nutrients, including whole fruits and veggies, fiber, probiotics, antioxidants, and more, all in one easy to drink formula. You can mix it with water. You can mix it with tea, smoothie, add to your daily routine. And it comes with 4 delicious flavors: coconut, mixed berry, citrus, and original. My personal favorite is the mixed berry. And Bloom is made for you. Like we were saying, it just helps you in all different ways and easy to add to whatever drink you do. A little cup of glass of water in the morning, get your day started, boom, add it in there, you're good to go. Right now, Bloom Nutrition is offering our listeners 15% off your purchase of their greens and superfoods blend when you go to bloomnu.com/chicks. That's BLOOMNU.com/chicks for 15% off your purchase. Go to bloomnu.com/chicks for 15% off.
The hammer has been thrown down. Justice has been served. Will Smith's Oscars punishment has been revealed, and the man can't attend the Oscars for the next 10 years. That's what the Academy came up with. That's his big punishment.
What is your take on this? Because I
think it's ridiculous. A punishment is you can't win an award for the next 10 years. Like, that's a punishment. He can still win. He can still be nominated and win. He just doesn't have to fucking go to the ceremony. Like,
I think that they're almost better doing nothing sometimes.
I know. This almost seems worse. Like, it's like at this point, they Weekend Update actually had a funny joke about this. Colin Jost talking about it, of just being like, his punishment is he doesn't have to sit through the 4-hour ceremony. He can still go to the after party, win an award. He just doesn't have to actually go. He was like, you know what a real punishment would be? Next year, he has to host the Oscars.
I mean, it's so true, though. Like, if he could just win the award for the Oscars sitting on his couch is maybe the best case scenario, because there's no excuse. Because if you are nominated for an Oscar, you're kind of expected to be there. It's the big night. But if you're nominated for an Oscar, but you literally are not allowed to go, then it's like you said, the best case scenario.
He could get nominated for something and just like throw himself an epic party to honor him.
Yeah.
And like, there's no
watch party,
because guess what? He can still win. I don't know. It's really funny. It's a look into how seriously something like the Academy like takes themselves, that this is like, oh, we know he can't come to the to the show for the next 10 years. That'll show
I would be shocked if he won. Like, even if he gave a great performance, I would be shocked if they actually like gave him an Oscar in the next 10 years.
Yeah, I doubt that would happen. I'm
never know.
Picturing Will Smith at home doing a stream. I'm streaming the Oscars tonight on YouTube. Tune in.
Look, everyone was pretty quick to giving him a standing O after his speech. So maybe he does win an Oscar in the next 10 years.
At the end of the day, are people going to stop being friends with Will Smith because he slapped Chris Rock in the face? Probably not, because these people are spineless. But that's just really...
I know. There's all these rumors that like he is going to have a hard time working and places are dropping him and all these things. And I don't know how much actual truth there is to that. And then I also saw very smart of Chris Rock. I think he said that he isn't going to talk about the whole situation unless he's getting paid the big bucks. Like, I think like if you get some kind of special
Oprah interview.
Like a Netflix special?
Yeah. He said
he should have one.
He said, I'm not talking about that until I get paid. Life is good. He said, I'm okay. I have a whole show and I'm not talking about that until I get paid. Life is good. I got my hearing back. So I think it was just like, he's going to go through this whole tour, right? That is sold out, that he just is doing anyway. And then Netflix could come through and be like, hey, we're going to pay you fucking $10 million to do a one-off special where you talk about it. And he'll be like, yeah, done.
What does I got my hearing back mean though?
Like he got slapped so hard that he couldn't hear.
He got slapped.
Oh, is that a joke? Or
I don't know.
I think a joke.
Okay. I couldn't tell.
Yeah. I think a joke. So it seems like he won't be fully diving into that unless he sees some dollar signs, which
Fair enough.
Makes sense.
Man got slapped across the face in front of the entire world by Will Smith.
Imagine if they're like, if they just
I wonder how he feels about this punishment. Like if he's like, what?
I'm telling you, I need the group chat between David Spade, Adam Sandler, Chris Rock, and Kevin James. Yeah. Do you think that their group chat is named Grown Ups?
That would be pretty funny.
The Big Four.
I can't imagine. Like they must have sent that headline, just being like, "Wow, 10 years."
And they're like, "This fucking guy, this fucking guy."
Like, that's a he's lucky. For those guys, they're probably like, he's lucky. He doesn't have to sit through the whole ceremony. Because at this point, like, they're so famous. They don't give a shit about sitting at the Oscars.
No, they don't have to sit at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like the people who are just getting nominated for the first time are like, oh my God, I'm so excited to go to the Oscars.
Yeah. What a punishment.
Like Billie Eilish
really
is
good
like
job.
pumped to go to the Oscars.
Yeah. You crushed it, the Academy. Way to go. You showed him.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another game of Beat Rhea and Fran. This is game 34, and we are joined by the lovely Ellie and Hannah. They both go to Wake Forest. They became friends, they said, because of our show. They saw each other in the comments. They realized we both go to the same school, and boom, they hit it off. And now they are here to play a great game of trivia with us. Thank you guys for joining the show.
Thank you for having us. We're so excited.
I will say, Ellie DM'd me not too long ago, said she was going to get on trivia, and she did it with no influence for me at all. Because I don't. People say it to me, but I like let Noah always pick. Like we never say to Noah like, oh, put these people on or whatnot. Never. Just so that it's always Noah's pick. And it just so happened that it worked.
Yeah, every time we are out and we see each other, we're like, we gotta DM Fran, and we send her like a pretty under the influence photo every time.
Actually, I was looking back at the email, because what I do is like I'll see emails and I'll just star ones that I'm like, oh, these would be good, and then just go back through all my starred things. And I was going back last night and I was like, why did I star this one? Because they said they talked to you, and I was like, that wouldn't really change my mind. And then at the bottom, one of you has a peanut allergy.
Wow. Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
You know how many people are gonna like now email you saying they have an peanut
If you have a
allergy?
peanut allergy, you have to actually come with proof now.
She said you had a bad reaction like the week before or something. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, she's got her EpiPens.
Damn, you got the old school EpiPens.
Love it.
Shit. You got those vintage EpiPens.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Let's get into the game. Here are the rules. 15 questions. Whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. We will go back and forth. If you get a question wrong, the other team can steal the point. To determine who goes first, Noah's going to give us a movie. We have to guess the score on Rotten Tomatoes. We'll alternate picks. And whoever is the closest will start the game. So, Noah, what is today's movie?
Today's movie is The Great Gatsby.
Ooh. The Leo version?
Leo. Is there another movie version?
There's an original,
the original
Great Gatsby,
like an old one.
Oh, I thought it was just a book, but.
I mean, obviously there's the book, but I think there's an original.
But the Leo one.
The Leo one. Okay. Ellie, Hannah, you guys throw out a guess to start us off.
Yeah, okay, you go first.
Okay, I'm gonna go 78.
I'm gonna go 54.
I also felt like middle. 78.
I think I'm gonna go 42. Sneaky low.
I'm gonna go 65.
Rhea and it's 48, so you guys are tied with like 6 apart.
Oh shit! All right, pick another movie.
Or do you go? Okay, pick another movie.
I think pick another movie.
Yeah, wow.
First movie off the top of your head.
Yeah,
All right,
just something that shows up.
The Simpsons movie. That's the first thing that popped in my head.
Okay, The Simpsons
How
movie.
is that the
I
first
don't
thing
know.
that popped in your head?
That's the first thing that popped in my head. when you
The
said it.
Simpsons movie.
I don't know. I haven't watched it in 10 years. I
The
don't know.
Simpsons movie.
Okay, all right, let's do this again. The Simpsons movie.
All right, now who goes first?
Okay,
Though?
you go first, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'll go 63.
89.
I was gonna say like 20. Let's go with 20.
38.
87.
Ow!
Shit! Amazing. The Simpsons movie.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. All right.
It's also hilarious considering we just did that after doing like a Leonardo DiCaprio movie that had a what, a 48? Yeah.
Yeah, and The Simpsons movie has an
Simpsons
87.
movie,
I
87.
could see the numbers today.
Yeah.
Like it was like I had a number. It didn't even have to think about it. Numbers just popped into my head.
All right.
So
well,
I'm feeling confident.
I think today's questions are good too, by the way.
Let's go.
All right. Fuck
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm pumped up today. I'm in a great mood this morning. I really am. It's a fantastic fucking day.
Okay. All right.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, question number 1 to Rhea and Fran. Shout out Shannon from Washington, D.C. Which of the following artists is the only one to win a Grammy? A. Katy Perry. B. Sierra. C. Post Malone. D. Nicki Minaj.
Why did he look at you like that after Sierra?
Because I didn't know if I
He went.
pronounced it right. I was like, is that how you say
Okay,
it?
so
Like
Katy
Sierra
Perry,
married to Russell Wilson,
Yeah.
Sierra?
Katy
Yeah.
Perry, Sierra, Nicki Minaj, Post Malone.
The only one to win a
Only
Grammy.
one of them won a Grammy. Who is it?
Post Malone.
Post Malone, right?
Post Malone.
Yeah. We're going to go Post Malone, final answer.
Incorrect.
Oh my God, Post Malone hasn't won a Grammy.
I for sure thought it'd be like Go Flex or something.
I thought it was gonna be. I thought Post Malone, but it was Katy Perry, Sierra, or Nicki Minaj.
15 seconds.
I feel like Sierra's a wild card, so maybe like that.
So maybe her. I don't know. You pick. Just do one.
Okay, we'll go Sierra.
Correct.
Sierra,
Sierra,
final.
fine.
What song?
I don't know actually what song. I could look it up if you want.
No. Move on to the next question.
Okay.
Have those answers readily available next time.
Yeah. Please
right.
have follow-ups
I usually do.
planned and
All
ready
right,
to
question
go.
number 2 to Ellie and Hannah. Shout out Ruby and Elizabeth from Georgia. What are Drake and Josh's last name in the show?
I don't. My brother's gonna kill me. He's a huge Drake and Josh fan. I know nothing.
All I can think of is their real names.
I know. I was thinking like Josh Peck. but
Yeah. Should we just guess something like generic?
not Smith. It's like, I don't know.
10 seconds.
Robinson or something like that. I don't know.
You got it.
Robinson. Final
We don't
answer.
know.
We don't know.
Incorrect.
Isn't it just Drake Bell and Josh Peck?
No.
You're gonna be so pissed.
No, it's not.
They said I'm gonna be so. He just said you're gonna be so pissed. What does that mean?
You're just gonna be like, oh my god.
So maybe it
Nichols.
is. Nichols. Josh Nichols.
Josh Nichols.
And Drake. Fuck.
Bell.
5 seconds. Nothing. Time is up.
Yeah.
All right, time is up. Josh Nichols and Drake Parker.
I would have never got
would have
Parker.
remembered Parker.
All right.
Nichols was said way more than
yes.
Parker.
Yeah.
100. Nichols has said a lot. Yes.
All right. Still 1-0.
Mr. Nichols.
Ellie and Hannah. And this question is to
Damn.
Rhea and Fran. Shout out Ashley from Maryland.
Fucking focus, Rhea.
In the movie How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, what is the slogan Matthew McConaughey's character makes up for the jewelry company?
Frost yourselves.
Final answer.
Yes.
Sure.
Correct.
No, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
When I said focus, Rhea, it was really you got
Focus,
this,
Fran. Yeah.
Tied up at 1. Question number 4 to Ellie and Hannah. Shout out Sydney from Minneapolis. Name these celebrities from youngest to oldest. Bradley Cooper, Ashton Kutcher, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, James Franco.
You said from youngest to oldest?
From youngest to oldest.
youngest to oldest.
James Franco, not Dave Franco.
Yeah.
James.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like,
The Rock is old, I think.
yeah.
He's got a daughter.
Yeah. I feel like
He's
Ashton
gotta be
Kutcher
old.
is youngish.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds right. Okay, so maybe we go.
James Franco, I think, is young too.
Okay, so
Maybe we go James Franco, Ashton Kutcher,
Who was the third one? Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
Or no, I think The Rock, then Bradley Cooper.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
Time is up.
Okay, so what was it? It's James Franco, Ashton Kutcher, The Rock, and then Bradley Cooper.
Incorrect.
I think it's Ashton Kutcher,
You think he's the youngest?
James Franco.
I kind of feel like Ashton Sneaky is older than we think.
You think he's older than James Franco?
Yeah.
I think James Franco just looks older. He's not aging as well as Ashton Kutcher.
No, I think Ashton Kutcher looks older than James Franco.
What?
5
Like, I
seconds.
think, okay,
All right, James Franco.
Ashton Kutcher, I think Bradley Cooper, and then The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final answer.
Yeah.
Correct.
Damn,
Bradley Cooper is 40, or
So
Ashton Kutcher's 44. James Franco's 43.
Yeah.
The Rock's 49. Bradley Cooper's 47.
That was a confusing way to
Yeah, no, I
read
I know.
those instead of reading them in order.
All right. All right. Question number 5. This is to Rhea and Fran, who are up 2-1. Shout out Brittany from Champaign, Illinois. In the song 6 Minutes by the Jonas Brothers, what is the lyric for the 4th minute?
No.
I don't even know the song.
No idea.
These are the ones, like, these are the lyrics, of the really old songs that I don't, like, I fake. You know how bad I am with lyrics? Like, I fake sing these lyrics because I don't
5 seconds.
know all of them. 1 minute and it's on 2 minutes and it's on
Time's
3
up.
minutes and it's on 4 minutes. No, I got
All
nothing.
right. Ellie.
I want
got-
6
yeah. We all
minutes
have
with
it, yeah.
you.
Yo.
6 minutes.
Yo.
Can you keep singing it for us?
I don't. I the 1 to 5. I got nothing.
All right. No answer for either team.
No, we have no
answer.
All right. The correct answer is 4 minutes, and she's everything I see.
Yeah. 1 minute and it's 2 minutes.
All right. Still 2-1. Rhea and Fran. This is question number 6 to Ellie and Hannah. Shout out Shannon from Washington, D.C. again. Rank these 4 Taylor Swift music videos in order from most to least views on YouTube. Shake It Off, Cardigan, Love Story, blank space.
Ooh. From
It's
least
Josh.
to
Shake It
most.
From most to least.
Most to least.
To least.
Shake It Off's gotta be one.
Yeah.
Shake It Off. What was it? Cardigan, Love Story, and
Blank space.
what was the last one?
Oh, blank space.
And blank space.
I think it's Shake It Off, blank space. Love Story, Cardigan.
Love Story's huge.
Love Story
though.
is huge. So should we switch?
Switch that and blank space, maybe.
Yeah, that makes. Yeah.
Okay.
I was obsessed with blank space.
yeah.
So, but okay.
Let's go. So we'll go Shake It Off, Love Story, blank space, Cardigan. Final answer.
Incorrect.
I kind of think blank space might be one. I'm gonna go. Do you have an input in this? Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna go.
Where'd all your energy go?
I'm gonna.
The questions are
not
not for
up
Jonas
her.
Brothers,
They're
Taylor
not up her
Swift.
alley. I'm gonna go. Blank space. Shake It Off. Love Story. Cardigan.
Incorrect. They originally had it. Shake It Off, 3.1 billion. Blank space,
Shake It Off,
2.9
then.
Dang
billion.
it.
Love
Shake It Off,
Story,
then. Yeah.
617 million. Cardigan, 99 million.
It's close.
All right, still 2-1. And this is to
We had it.
Rhea and Fran. It's a Harry Potter question.
Oh
My God, it's like I don't
You've
exist.
seen all the Harry Potters, okay?
I guess, but
You know it now.
What do you
No,
want? Everything to
I
be couples
definitely
retreat,
don't.
sweet life?
no, I know, but this is all like Fran's fandoms.
It's just random, you know?
All right, go.
Shout out Carolina from Denver.
Her mood has drastically changed.
I know, what
in
happened?
4 minutes.
It's all right. I need water.
All right. Name the 3 unforgivable curses in Harry Potter.
There is the Killing Curse, the Cruciatus Curse, and I don't know.
5 seconds.
Oh God, why am I doing this? The
Time is up.
Cruciatus Curse, Killing Curse.
All right. To
Nope.
Ellie and
Nope.
Hannah.
All right, we got Avada Kedavra, Crucio, and Imperio.
Imperio, that's the one I'm missing.
Final answer.
Yes, that's our final answer.
Correct.
Yes.
When it's not my day, it's not my day, and it's not my day.
2-2. Tied up at 2. This one's not to you, but you would like this one. Maybe it'll come to you.
Well, no, you're killing us.
Okay, this is to Ellie and Hannah. It's tied up at 2. Shout out Madison from Fargo, North Dakota. What are the 2 bars that were referenced in the infamous note by Sammy, or to Sammy in Jersey Shore?
Jersey girl Ellie.
I'm from New Jersey. Never seen an episode of Jersey Shore in my life. So I know. I'm sorry. I'm from Basking Ridge, so we're not super close to the shore, but
Yeah, I have no idea.
that was my
Not
way
in
of
Jersey.
That was my way of filling time. Pass.
Okay, Pat, to Rhea and Fran.
Bed and Karma.
I don't
Those
know.
are the 2 safe guesses. But they're not in the same place. I'm gonna say bed and karma.
Final answer.
Yes.
Incorrect.
Shit.
Bed
Forget
and
it.
clutch.
This is just
God, you guys.
terrible.
You can't complain now.
No, I'm
we're not complaining.
No, I'm just
we're
saying,
just
like,
we're
that, like,
doing
the
terribly. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
It's okay.
That's
It's okay.
fine.
It's all right.
I mean, you guys are tied up, so it's
it's all right.
All right, question number 9, and this is to Rhea and Fran. Shout out Genevieve from Salem, Massachusetts. The character names Olaf and Sven. How do you say that?
Sven.
Oh wow, okay. From Frozen are named after characters from what movie? A. Lord of the Rings, B. Transformers, C. Titanic, D. Forrest Gump.
I'm gonna say Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the yeah, sure.
Lord of the Rings.
Incorrect.
Shocking.
Can you read the question again?
The character names Sven and Olaf from Frozen are named after characters from what movie?
I was gonna say Lord of the Rings, but it's not that.
Titanic? Isn't there a guy named Sven in Titanic? Like his friend, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Let's go with that.
All right, we're gonna go with Titanic.
Correct.
There is an Olaf in Titanic.
Is there?
I mean,
obviously
that.
there is, but I'm trying to think who is.
I can't remember who Olaf is in Titanic.
I just know that it.
Yeah, I can't either.
When I think of Olaf and Sven, I think Frozen, but.
All right. Question number 10. It's 3-2, Ellie and Hannah. And now, question number 10, I'm going to play a movie clip, and you tell me what movie it's from.
You haven't finished your nuggets yet, sweetie. Okay, there's a lot of children starving in America, right? I mean, take a look at her. She's American, huh? Really skinny. You want to look like that? No. Then eat your nuggets.
I don't even have a guess. I didn't even recognize the voice.
Yeah, me neither. Eat your nuggets? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Do you want to just guess what's like a funny comedy?
I have no. I have
blanking.
No idea. Yeah.
Maybe Grown Ups 2. Final answer.
Incorrect. And I like that you're like, let's think of a funny comedy, and Grown Ups 2 is the first thing.
I have no idea.
Neither do I. Can you play it one more time?
You haven't finished your nuggets yet, sweetie. Okay, there's a lot of children starving in America, right? I mean, take a look at her. She's American, huh? Really skinny. You want to look like that? No. Then eat your nuggets.
I can't even recognize the voice.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds familiar, but
5 seconds.
I got nothing.
Daddy's home.
No. Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh. Wait, now.
Oh, now I know. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, now I would have never gotten
Ken
that.
Jeong.
Though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Me.
Yep.
All right, still 3-2, Ellie and Hannah. This is question number 11 to Rhea and Fran. Shout out Haley from Rockaway, New Jersey. In the movie White Chicks, what was the name of the song that the girls dance battled to?
My brain, I just can't remember a single thing today. Nothing.
Oh, I got it.
Like, all I can think of is friggin' what's his face, Terry Crews singing in the car, and I can't think of.
10 seconds. Five.
I got.
Don't
No,
have it.
I quit.
Ellie and Hannah.
It's like SG2 Rocco round, 2 Rocco round. That's right. What is the song name? That's I can sing it for you, but I don't know the title. Is it like Rocco round? It's tricky.
10 seconds.
That's it. Rock around or something.
Incorrect. It's Crazy in Love by Beyonce.
Oh. Totally off.
Damn.
All right, still 3-2. And this question's to Ellie and Hannah. Shout out Taylor from North Carolina. Name Tayshia's final 4 on her season of The Bachelorette.
This is the word. You knew we were when Noah started. With, I really like all these questions. We were fucked.
I think they're
Ivan.
good questions.
Ben, Zach, Ivan were fantasy suites.
Yeah.
Who's the 4th though?
I don't think I finished her season.
10 seconds.
I watched Ben's. I like can picture the fantasy suites in my head, but I don't know the 4th.
Ben, Zach.
3
Hometown.
seconds.
Just throw a random
Time
name
is
out.
up.
Someone who's You got it, Ellie.
That's all.
Just say it.
Ben, Zach, Ivan, and
All right, time is up. Time is
Aaron.
up. All right, to Rhea and Fran.
Ben, Zach, Ivan, and Blake.
Blake
Moynes.
Moynes?
She like cried hysterically when Blake.
Oh. Did he make it that far? Yeah, I mean, I got no other answers. So
Ben,
yes.
Zach, Ivan, and Blake.
Ben, Zach, Ivan, Brendan.
Brendan.
Oh shit.
he did. Oh my
Get
God.
Brendan.
I don't want a single person telling me and Rhea how bad we did at this game. Because we know. That's all.
That's
Fun fact, we saw Brendan on a flight in like coach.
Me specifically, I get girls who DM me and they're like, I can't believe you got that Jonas Brothers question wrong. You're a fake fan. All right, sorry.
Nobody DMs me that.
Yeah.
It's toxic.
Happens to me all the time.
Well, you still.
You got to stay sharp. I know. Take out the book, start studying.
And start fucking memorizing every lyric. I am so bad with lyrics.
You guys can still win. So.
I'm pretty good with lyrics, but you don't ask any other lyrics besides Jonas Brothers lyrics.
That's true.
I'm very good with lyrics.
I've asked Harry before.
Throw in some rappers every once in a while, some rap lyrics. How about it, huh? Like, everything is, I don't like just a couple things. You just, Anyways, next question.
I'm going to make a edit where it's just you in the beginning and then just you right now.
No, but it's like, you're like, but you never ask, like, you know what kind of music I like, but there's never questions about that. Like,
I don't
A$AP Rocky, Tyler, the Creator. You know what I'm just saying?
I don't write most of it. Hey,
he doesn't write the questions.
Yeah, people out there, send in some rap questions.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Question number 13. Ellie and Hannah are up 3-2. Shout out Brienne from Baltimore. This is to Rhea and Fran. Another Harry Potter question.
Oh, mother.
I'm going to leave.
But the fact that you're like upset, Fran, you begged for Harry Potter questions.
I know, but when I start to get them wrong, like I just get them wrong.
I think you'll get this one.
All right, well, now I'm definitely going to get it wrong.
Hey, have a better attitude about it. You never know. Maybe I'll get it.
You guys are acting like you're down by 10 points.
Maybe Rhea will get it.
Yeah, maybe I'll get it.
I mean, you saw it. So.
All right. I mean, yeah, I saw it one time straight through. I bet. Would you get it, Noah?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Who do Harry, Hermione, and Ron go to the Yule Ball with?
Each person individually?
Yes.
Hermione goes with Crumb. No?
Yes.
Full name?
Victor. Harry goes with...
I got to give you their both names. The Patel twins.
I mean, yeah, because, they're different people.
Pavardi.
10 seconds.
And...
5. Time's up.
You're going to screw us over one twin name?
Yep.
It's a question. All right,
time's up.
I can't remember the other twin's name.
Well, Crumb.
So Vic Crumb with Hermione, and then
Parvati
and it's like
it's something with a P.
Padma or something.
I like that. That sounds good.
Okay.
So wait, who goes? We have to know who goes with Harry. Who's with Ron? Damn. I think Ron and Parvati, and then Harry and
I think her name's like Padma. Yeah.
Padma.
All right. So time's up. Final answer. Let's hear it.
So Hermione with Crumb, Parvati with Ron, and then Padma with Harry.
Incorrect. You guys had the names right, but not the people correct. It's Harry. Harry with Pavarti, Ron with Padma, Hermione, Victor Crumb.
Damn. Almost had it.
All right, 2 more questions, and it's still 3-2. Ellie and Hannah. This question is.
I want to lose this game.
Hey,
we don't deserve to win this game.
Take her out of here.
We do not deserve to win this game.
Why? If we get the answers right,
every question wrong,
and they also got them wrong, so they deserve to win. No offense, but if we beat you, we beat you.
All right, question number 14 to Ellie and Hannah, who are up 3-2. Shout out Shannon from Washington D.C. for the 3rd time. Which TV character said the famous quote, 3 words, 8 letters, say it and I'm yours?
Blair Waldorf. Gossip Girl answer.
Correct. And that secures the W.
Yeah, I knew that one, and so did Rhea, so.
All right, we'll do the last one for fun. Question number 15. Shout out Carly from Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Which of the following celebrities is not turning 30 this year? A. Taylor Lautner, B. Sam Smith, C. Cara Delevingne, D. Niall Horan.
I don't care.
Sam Smith.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Incorrect.
Whoa, shocking.
I would have said.
You guys are the biggest sore losers I've ever met.
I don't think I'm that bad of a sore loser.
What was the first one?
I've been pretty acceptable.
What was the first option?
They get a chance.
I know, but what was the first option?
Taylor Lautner.
That's how I would have got picked.
Okay, to Ellie and Hannah.
I know Niall's 29, I think, right now.
Yeah.
So I think he is turning 30 this year. Taylor Lautner.
Who were the other ones?
Sam Smith and Cara Delevingne.
Cara Delevingne. I think is she 30
10
already,
seconds.
though?
I think so. Should we say Taylor?
Okay, we'll go Taylor Lautner.
Taylor Lautner, final answer.
Incorrect. It's Niall Horan. He's 28 right now.
Oh, I love Niall. Shit.
Young buck. There you go.
All right,
It's
4-2.
close.
Ellie and Hannah win.
Terrible.
You know what? I like losing
Damn, wait,
sometimes.
this is back-to-back L's.
Yeah, but
Back-to-back
I think
Ls.
it's all right because the next time we win, it'll feel even better. You know?
How many L's in a row before
I like your
you start
attitude, Rita.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Start
so
what?
you lose your status as like Bobby? Like how many times would Bobby Flay lose in a row where you're like, is he even good?
4 times, I would say. I would say if we lost 4 times in a
We have
row,
to
it's
end
like
this thing.
Yeah.
somebody. The
Yeah, the
fourth
game would probably
the fourth
just be
winner
over.
has to be taken over by the people.
Yeah.
The podcast has to be taken over by the
They take it
winners.
over.
Yeah.
You're putting your jobs on the line.
Yeah, exactly. Not actually, please. I think we'll get the next one.
Yeah.
I just hate getting those
Great
questions.
game, though,
I hate
guys.
getting those
Great game.
questions wrong.
Yeah,
Thank you guys. Yeah, that was awesome.
Well done, ladies.
Yes. Good job, Ellie. and Hannah. Thanks for
I am
joining
a
us.
sore loser, and I'm not a sore loser. I'm not a sore loser as much as I get pissed at myself for getting the questions wrong.
Yeah, you strive for greatness.
Yeah, and I
in
feel like a
yourself.
big old idiot when I get them
I'm
wrong.
not too down because those
weren't your
questions.
questions.
I don't think I would have gotten
They
any
weren't.
of them.
They were
like,
my
I
questions.
Just,
2
I would
Harry
have
Potter
never
questions
gotten
and a
any of
Jonas
them
Brothers
right.
Jersey
question.
Shore.
Yeah, but I had half a. Drake and Josh, I had half.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to do my part, but you can't win them
Oh
all.
well.
Okay, well, if you guys could send me your address and size so we could send you some merch.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you guys so much for playing.
Have a great rest
Thank
of your
you guys
day.
so
Hi.
much. Thank you guys too.
us.
Bye.
Bye.
We got a great interview with Josh Peck. We're talking about his new book, but guys, it's mid-April now, so we're getting into wedding season, graduation season, spring sports. There's so much going on. So you got to remember, take some time for yourself. Take a second to enjoy a nice ice cold Coors Light because you deserve a beer that's made to chill. There's only one beer out there that's literally made to chill, and it's Coors Light. The mountains on the bottles and cans even turn blue when your beer is cold. That way you always know when it's time to chill. So when you need to hit reset, you just open a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment, cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged. Like I said, literally made to chill. It's as crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies, perfect for a moment to unwind. So when it's time, the end of the week, we're done. That's when I like to go into my fridge and take out a nice ice cold Coors Light. So when we want a second for ourselves, we reach for the beer that's made to chill. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Jersey or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/chicks. That's CoorsLight.com/chicks. And always celebrate responsibly. This is coming from Coors Brewing Company in Golden, Colorado.
All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by Josh Peck. He's here to talk about his new book, Happy People Are Annoying. We have it right in front of us. I love doing this when people come on and they have a new book out and then we act like we're like late night TV show hosts.
Yes.
So thanks for joining the show.
Well done. I wish you guys were true late night TV show hosts because I would watch it because late night needs your guys' help.
Thank you. I think so too. It's like the perfect from under the desk, you know, when they go under the desk and then they say,
so tell us about the book. And also, they're knee slapping. They haven't said anything yet. So we could pull that off.
Yeah, you just have to be able to laugh at things that are not funny. So it'll be good practice with me because I always need the help.
Josh, how are you doing? How has been the feedback of the book being released and what's going on?
It's been great. I mean, I started writing this thing like over a year ago and I was alone with my thoughts and just like putting it down on paper. And then you sort of give it over to the world and the feedback's been lovely, but it's also been like, wow, you're very honest. And I'm like, I guess so. I live with myself, right? So I'm sort of used to it, but I'd never really been this honest or public about my life, challenges and whatnot. So it's a little scary, but I think inevitably it's probably a good thing.
Right. I think it's a great thing. And obviously we've seen you do a ton of interviews over the past few weeks and we're like, how do we ask him something new that hasn't been asked before, because people are, they're asking you the same questions. And we actually had Jason Tartick, you went on his podcast recently. He was in here yesterday and he was just talking about you. And he said the same exact thing. He was like, he is so honest. So we're really excited to just talk about everything that's in this book with you.
No, listen, I'm excited to be here. And I think that for me, I grew up, I think I was the last generation before social media.
Right.
And so there was still this weird mystery to public people, and they would come and promote a movie and then they would disappear for 18 months. But now I feel like everything is completely out there and public. And so this is my first foray into losing all my privacy.
Yeah, that is, it is true. And you're right about that. As soon as I opened the book and started reading, I was like, wait a second. I thought I knew this guy and I don't know this guy at all. Because we grew up watching Drake and Josh, so we loved it and all that and all of those shows. So it is crazy, the difference, the changes in the internet, where now if there's young kids on a show, you can Google them and find out everything about their family, what their parents did, everything. And I felt like then it just wasn't as talked about. So opening up just kind of about your family dynamic and everything that happened was immediately surprising to me.
Yeah. And I want to ask, obviously, like she said, we grew up watching you. And I think you've talked about this recently, just being you were the happy-go-lucky kid. When you saw your face, it was you were always cheery and happy. And, reading this book, you realized that wasn't always the case. You turned to many other things because you weren't as happy as you came across. Did you at the time, and because social media wasn't around, I don't think you knew it was going to exist the way it did, but did you wish that people knew this side of you before now, or as you were going through it?
Well, it's a great question. I mean, to your point, yeah, that's why I made probably the most punchable book cover in the history of book covers. And it's yellow background because my publisher says that really pops on Amazon. But because I feel that cover is, we know that guy. That's the corny, funny dude that we grew up with. And then as soon as you open the book, it's this bait and switch. I mean, being you're still going to laugh, but I'm probably going to hit you with some honesty too. But to your point, I don't know. I think what the book was sort of an effort in me being this is kind of at the times where I was 20 and you watched me being locked in a treehouse and you thought everything was all good, or you just assume that if you're on a show like that, sort of going forward, you have the golden sort of key to the world and Hollywood and life. What I wanted it to be was sort of a correction or a footnote or just an extra layer and being yeah, it was great. And I was incredibly lucky, and that can be true. And at the same time, another truth can exist, which was I was incredibly insecure because I was, going through my awkward teenage years in front of millions of people, and my awkward teenage years are in reruns, or, just navigating this sort of really specific world that, not everyone, certainly has to go through those same sort of weird waters.
Yeah. The financial aspect of the book was very interesting to me too, because like I said, I'm watching this guy on TV every day. This guy's got to be rich.
Yeah,
he's got
to
be making all this money from these TV shows. And at the time, I guess that just wasn't as necessarily as prevalent as it is now. And you said something in the book as well about kids TV not paying residuals. And that is something I had no idea.
It's pretty wild. Someone read the book and she tweeted at me. She's like, you were making $100,000 a year. I work with kids and I make half that. So what are you complaining about? And I'm like, listen, in no way am I getting into an argument with you about how you deserve way more money than I do. Yes. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing this up because comparatively, it's a little, there's some big differences. And also it was in an effort to slightly correct public perception. Cause my buddy, Ryan Holiday, who's a famous writer, he kind of acted as my advisor on the book. And cause I knew I didn't want a ghostwriter, but I knew I needed someone I could bother. and be like, listen, does this suck? Please, God help me. And so when we got to this part, he said, you have to say how much you made. And I'm like, that's gross. Like, who talks about money like that? He's like, no, because the misconception is you do this show and you're set. And the reality was you were making like a nice middle-class income for 5 years that you and your mom lived on for a lot of it because, you know, we moved out to California from New York, like had to start a whole new life. So it's not crazy to think that like, if you were making $100,000 a year after 5 years, you know, you've got a year maybe of runway, you know, 18 months of savings, and then you got to get back to work.
Yeah, and absolutely. It's like anybody who gets that paid amount now, they can't just say, oh, I made it. I got to quit now and I'm good for the rest of my life. Like you have to keep working. And so I think that, you know, it was great of you to share something like that, because I do think you're right. I do think people see somebody on a TV show or kids like us being
and
like, I want to be on a TV show.
Time.
Right.
Like,
exactly. You're like, oh my God, everybody knows this.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God, he's going to be making so much money. They play this show on TV every day.
Right.
It's like disaster porn for me now, because I love when people like telling people, I'm like, you know, there's no residuals actually. And like, just to watch their face drop, I'm like, it's almost worth it.
Yeah. And you're like, and like you mentioned, you're like, it
was shocking to me.
Yeah, I'm watching my awkward years play back, and I actually am not even paid for it. Yeah. Like if you were getting paid for it, maybe it would be worth it. But you also have a chapter in this book, quote unquote, too fat for commercials. That's not me saying it. It's you saying it. And you talk, you know, your mom was, you know, talking to your agents or whoever, and was just like, why isn't he going out as much as the other kids? They're going to commercial auditions, you know, once, twice a week. You're going out maybe once or twice a month. And, you know, you were told you had to lose weight and this and that. When did it change exactly? And you may have told the story before, but I'm interested in where the switch happened and Nickelodeon picked you up. Like, how did it go from not getting many auditions to now you're on like one of the biggest network for kids?
I guess it looking back in hindsight, it was fairly quick, right? Because I'm like 9, 10 years old. I'm doing stand-up comedy in New York, which is the craziest shit ever, because I should have been in Little League, but I'm literally
You were like, getting up on stage in New York when you were that young?
Yeah, Caroline's and
that's awesome.
And stand-up New York. Yeah, it was just my thing. I had like a tight 5 minutes, and they would sneak me in through the back door so they wouldn't lose their liquor license. And, and then I went to Performing Arts High School in New York, and it was like the first time that I wasn't just like the freak, like the oddity at, you know, going to PS40 and kind of like having to leave for auditions. I was surrounded by, I mean, some of the kids who went to my school were like Alicia Keys and Claire Danes and Jesse Eisenberg. So all these like kids who were really making a living doing this thing. So suddenly it seemed possible. I'm like, oh, this isn't just like a hobby, as my Jewish grandparents tell me, and that I need to go to law school. Like, this can actually sustain. So I started auditioning at Nickelodeon like all the time, because they've got commercials and like little guest stars on TV shows. And I was like, listen, I'm chubby, funny, and ambitious. You need me. Trust me. And basically I booked a movie for them called Snow Day. And it was my first film. I was 12 years old. And one day I'm like talking shit to some guy in like this gigantic jacket, because it's February in Calgary, Canada. And my mom sort of sidles up to me. She goes, do you know who that is? That's the president of Nickelodeon. Tell him you want to be on the Amanda Show. Tell him you want to be on all that. Like, I know it's your dream, but he doesn't know. And I did. And 9 months later, we got a call from him saying, I'm going to move you and your mom to California to star on the Amanda Show. And 6 months later was Drake and Josh.
That's awesome. And it really shows that sometimes
6 months. I didn't realize that's so quick.
It's just crazy that something like that as a kid, you feel more comfortable saying it to him, right? Whereas like now, like I feel like people are like a little cautious, like I can't just say that to that guy. And it's like, well, you can. And as a kid, you're like, okay, I'll just say it to him. Who cares? But now you have like a little more conscious. But it works out if you just kind of put yourself out there.
Totally. I mean, I say in the book, like, I don't know what the lesson is here other than like shoot your shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you have like the guts and the courage of a 12-year-old who's never been rejected before, like, yeah, but then life happens and you're like, oh God, I could never have like the guts to do that.
So that is obviously at the time so exciting for you. What's going through your mom's mind at that time?
That's a great question. You know, I got to be honest, and I don't know if I've ever said this part of it. I was having a 13-year-old renaissance in my life during this time. I was freshly bar mitzvahed. Anything was possible. Like I loved performing arts high school. And when I got offered the show, I didn't immediately think, yeah, let's go. Cause I knew that we were going to have to move to California. And like, I was so kind of pleased with where my life was right in that moment. And I remember my mom saying like, I don't really want to go to California either. Like we don't know anyone there. Yeah. And she's like, but this is big. Like we can always come home.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think we got to do this. Like, cause this doesn't come around a lot. And it was partly by her saying like, listen, you know, we're going to miss a couple like, Shabbat dinners in Jersey, but like you're on a TV show, so let's give it a try. And if you hate it, we can always come back.
Yeah, I guess that is a good lesson too. People are always nervous to take the leap, but if you have the ability to try it and say, well, you can always pack it up and go home.
Right. And I mean, of course, there are circumstances where people don't end up love being on TV or whatever it is. But what 13-year-old, 12-year-old kid is going to go on the Amanda show or all that and be like, Mom, I hate this. Like, I want to go home. Like, that was every kid's dream. And then obviously Drake and Josh started, and that was a huge hit. We all loved it. Mm-hmm. And now I see, okay, because you know where I'm going with this. You were on BFFs recently, which is obviously a huge podcast here. And they talked a little bit about Drake, and then Drake and his wife did a podcast after that reacting to you on BFFs. And I listened to that and I was just like blown away. I was like, what am I listening to here? And I want to know your side of this was there supposed to be another show called Josh and Drake? Like, is this all a real thing?
No, I never really I never really had any desire to say anything, but I kind of talked about our relationship slightly in the book. Yeah, so I think that's where I just was like a little bit more liberal in sharing sort of my thoughts on things, but inevitably, it is what it is. I think I talked with Portnoy enough about it. Yeah. So at this point, I don't know. I don't have too much more to say about the whole thing,
Yeah, it's and I do think, because you've had these big moments and everyone still, sometimes you watch people on TV and you think that's like their life in real life. And when the truth is you don't actually see that person that much.
It's like me and Fran. We hate each other.
Yeah, exactly. It's very different.
It's this show for me, like, I think for a long time, when I talk about my awkward teenage years, like I wanted to let go of my origin story, and I just wanted to be the new version of me, and whatever that was.
You had described the show, and I wrote it down. You had said it was kind of just a job.
Right. It was a great job.
Yeah, a great job. That's what you said. Don't get me wrong, a great job. But you would just go home and like it said. You said I'd go home to an apartment complex, watch hockey with my friend who lived in my building, and that was kind of it.
Yeah, it wasn't, there wasn't social media. So it wasn't like you're the Stranger Things kids and Friday at premieres and Monday you're a gigantic star. We kind of did this thing and I loved it. But I also knew that there would definitely be a stigma and a preconception about who, kid actors are. Because for every, Zendaya, there's like 1,000 burnout stories that sort of perpetuate that narrative. So it can be an uphill battle a little. So I just was like, I knew that I had my work cut out for me when the show was over. But over time, I've seen like people really marry themselves to the first sort of image that they fall in love with. And that was me on Drake and Josh. That's Steve Carell on The Office. And like you can do a lot of dope stuff, but you don't want to fight that. You want to embrace that you made people happy. You know?
Yeah. And also talking about social media now, it's also like there's so many more paid opportunities, I think, now for people on TV shows that, you know, they may be getting paid a certain amount on the TV show and may not be this crazy amount that people think it is, but then they get the ads and they get people following them, and you didn't necessarily have that at the time.
I feel like you know that better than either of us on how you totally monetized your social media. Like
I remember I started following you on Twitter, like, I mean, maybe in like 2011 or whatever it was, and you were very active on there, and I think people were excited to see you on there because we got to just see like a different side of you, and you were I just remember following you on Twitter from the beginning, being like, this Josh is great on Twitter.
Thank you for the early follow. I appreciate it. And dude, I mean, my life for years, and I don't, you know, it's the life I signed up for. It's been incredibly wonderful. And yet there have been so many moments where you sit in like a waiting room with 15 other guys who look just like you. And you're like been drilling it all week in your head. And you're like, I'm going to book this role and I'm going to buy a luxury mid-sized sedan. Or like, I'm going to pay off my condo. And then you go in there or like, you like see, or I'd sit in the waiting room and like Miles Teller would walk in and I'd be like, all right, I gotta go. I'd be like,
I have a stomach ache.
Miles. You're going to crush it, dude. And so finally I was able to like create content and make money doing it, circumventing the gatekeepers. Like I didn't have to go through that process. So a lot of people were like, at first they were like, what are you doing? And then in success, they were like, did you know? And I'm like, no, all I knew was that I was going where it was warm. Yeah. Like I was going where it was nice for a moment and I could like do what I do, but not ask permission. And that part for me was like, I just bought in.
Yeah, I feel like YouTube has been big for you. I feel like you got into the YouTube world and obviously made connections through that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, you know, it started with Vine. God bless.
R.I.P.
You know?
R.I.P. Have you ever been
baby.
in a room with people that you could say like, what the heck were you guys doing getting rid of Vine? I feel like you maybe, I don't know if you know people
it's
high up at Twitter. Like, I don't know. Now looking back, it's like, and seeing how successful TikTok is and how that absolutely skyrocketed for them to just like randomly have been like, you know what? We're taking away Vine.
It was a gaffe, man. It didn't seem like it was quite handled correctly from jump, unfortunately. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, you're right. Like I'll literally open TikTok and get PTSD because I'm like, this is what Vine could have been.
Yeah. And you're looking at all the TikTok stars and you're like, be careful. Like get on the other platforms before this disappears.
Totally. And that's where I was lucky because I was sort of like, I went to Instagram and then eventually YouTube. And I was like, I know that if I'm able to sort of adapt what I'm doing from a 6-second video to something more long format. I remember in the middle of sort of my social media career, I did this show with John Stamos called Grandfathered on Fox. And he's the greatest. But I remember during the audition, you know, we did like chemistry reads with him and we were kind of just chatting and he goes, hey, my nieces really like you on that Vine thing. Like, you think you can be funnier for more than 6 seconds? And I was like, I'll try, John.
I think it's so interesting, some of the connections and relationships you've made, just like John Stamos. It's like, how did these two guys end up together?
I know. I mean, how did I figure out how to pass for his child? Like, I wish I could like go back in time and see 13-year-old Josh and be like, dude, one day, like we're going to be able to pass for John Stamos's kid. So it's all going to work out. And also maybe like ease up on the trans fat. No.
Oh man. Yeah. It is very cool. And I think that, like you said, you've opened up so much in this book about so many things. One of those was your battle with drugs and alcohol, which I feel like a lot of people were not aware of as well. And it's interesting because reading what you said about the moments you've had, the story could have gone so differently in the likes of, you know, we've seen the child stars, we've seen the Amanda Bynes, the Lindsay Lohans, like where it's so public.
It's a dark turn.
Everyone's talking about it. And it felt like you kind of had some of those dark moments, but thankfully it didn't publicly become a massive thing.
You're right. No, I think I say in the book, like, there were so many close calls instead of like literally outing myself in this book for some reason.
Right. You're like, it could have been driving away from cops in Beverly Hills. Like, it could have been all these moments.
Yeah.
I was sitting with a couple sober buddies of mine, and I was like, yeah, people seem to have really had a reaction to the fact that I've been, in recovery for like 14 years. And they're like, well, yeah, because you've kept it hidden.
Right. Like, you didn't have that TMZ headline. Like, it's just, so people didn't know.
Yeah. Now, I'm not asking you to blow up like other people's spots on Nickelodeon, but did like the partying, drugs, alcohol, was that starting around that same time, like hanging around like LA, getting to California, or when did that really become opened up to you?
I think like certainly I was 17, 18, like sowing my wild oats in this town and being a cliche and going to the clubs. And I'm sure there were like certainly other people in similar profession to mine who were like, on their own journeys. But, inevitably it wasn't anything like that special. Like, because again, I wasn't interested in the famous side of drugs and alcohol or the cool kid side of it. I was interested in the drugs and alcohol. And so for me, it quickly like separated itself, but it's not, it's not random. It didn't come out of nowhere. I obviously overdo things, and I had like a lot of data to support that. And then I lost 100 pounds, and I was like the same head in this new body. And also just like 18 and supremely stupid, and like I got some catching up to do. Like, I've been like, anytime I get invited to a party when I was chubby, I'd be like, I'd love to, but I got to stay home and like alphabetize my DVDs. Like, I'm just like I'm crazy busy. And so here I am, 18. I'm like, oh, I want to live. And so when I started to partake in these things, I just was like, oh, this is so typical. Like, this is just what people my age do, not knowing that for someone like me, it was going to lead me down a bad path.
Right. And to be fair, we all get opened up to that stuff at those ages. Like, it's not just like child stars that all of a sudden the world opened up to drug and alcohol. Like 15, so you get to high school, that world is just opened up for everybody. And unfortunately, some people have a different reaction to these type of things, which was in your case.
It's like sad and also almost funny. And I'd say it in the book, like the first time I did it, and it was like with this girl who like kind of liked me and I liked her, and I just liked being liked. And I just remember thinking in that moment, like, oh, like this is just so typical. Like, I feel so normal right now doing like this ridiculous, act. And, but that's all I wanted. I just wanted to be like another kid who could be going to, I don't know, SUNY Purchase.
Right.
Pick your favorite New York school. Oneonta, I don't know.
Albany. Yeah. Oh, man. So after all this, you're going through kind of these movie roles, these acting gigs, and you talked about sort of having to like relearn a lot of things and kind of get back into the acting game, whether that's acting, classes, things like that. What advice do you have now for actors who may have had that big child role that everyone remembers them for, but they're like, hey, we want to keep acting, like we want to keep doing these things? What advice do you have to them who maybe want to step out?
I think, you just have to continue to put the work in. And especially for someone like me, I just knew that I had bad habits because they had worked.
Yeah.
I had my mom's voice in my head at 11 years old going, milk the joke, baby, the bigger, the better. And I had to unlearn that shit, but it worked beautifully for Drake and Josh and super sort of broad sitcoms, but maybe it wasn't as cute as a grown-up.
Right.
And like, I went like 2 or 3 years where I just wasn't working a lot. And, certainly I would see comments on social media that would totally like, bum me out or break my heart. But I knew that the thing that was different about me was I was in acting class during that time. And I would see each week, I'd be like, you know what? I might not be booking right now, but I'm getting better. Like, I feel better doing this thing. I'm preparing myself that if the right opportunity comes, I'll be able to take advantage of it. And it inevitably did, but I never would have been ready had I not spent those 3 years like really humbling myself to the process. And it's just because I love it. You know, TV was my escape. It was my best friend since I was 8 years old. And it's a thing that I've always loved. And now I'm like, you know, I have this really small part in this Christopher Nolan movie. And I've been, you know, I was on set 2 days ago going like, I'm the guy from Drake and Josh. Like, what am I doing here? But I'm soaking it up.
Yeah. I love it. I feel like you've had a couple of those moments and you've joked about it and you joke about it in the book where, or even here, you know, with John Stamos or being cast as a brother to Chris Hemsworth was like.
I mean, is that the most insane thing you've ever heard? Like, what was that? The casting director, God bless her, she might have had eye problems.
That was reading about that in the book really did
and
make
you're
me
like
laugh.
You're like Chris Hemsworth has other brothers. Like,
totally.
And they don't look like me.
I just was like, I remember him talking because his Liam, you know, or Luke, who's
is the one that's not an actor. Liam is the actor.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember like, again, this is 2009, right?
Yeah.
Like Chris wasn't even Thor yet.
Yeah.
And first of all, he has like the nerve to also be nice.
Yeah.
like I remember we would do scenes and he was sort of older than us. So he would come up to some of the young actors and he would call us cubs. And we'd be like,
that's so fucking cool.
With the accent too, right? Like,
yeah. We would rest in between scenes and he'd be like, "Oi, tired cubs."
And you were like, "That's awesome."
I was like, "I'll be whatever you can be my bear daddy, whatever." But he was so lovely. And then I just remember him being like, "Yeah, I have a brother." Like, and we went to like some barbecue together after the movie was over. And then he introduced me to Liam. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, how did I not get born into this genetic like lottery? And they're both so lovely and talented and handsome. Let's be honest, just handsome.
Yep. Yeah, straight up handsome.
That is very
no
true.
denying that.
So, you know, to wrap it up here, obviously you have the title of the book here is Happy People Are Annoying. You seem like you're in a very happy place in your life right now. So how annoying are you?
I mean, just ask the internet. I'm annoying as fuck. But you know what? I'm really content, and that's what I was looking for. Was like contentment, and to not like attach myself to those like brief moments of happiness or those brief challenging moments that like is inevitable. My buddy always says too much sun brings about a desert. And so I think that the journey of this book was realizing like the good times are coming as sure as the bad times are coming, and try to be like detached from it all and just be okay right in the middle. And that's kind of where I've been.
Yeah, we love it.
That's beautiful.
It is. And guys, for everyone listening, I highly recommend reading the book. I really, really enjoyed reading it and learning everything about you and the journey and the business. I felt like I was learning a lot of things that I did not know, whether that's about acting or social media, careers in social media. I think it's really, really interesting. So make sure you pick up your copy of Happy People Are Annoying. And Josh, thank you so much for joining us.
You guys are awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. It was so great meeting you.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Josh.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
All right, that wraps up today's episode of Chicks in the Office. And make sure you buy our new merch at the link in the description. Make sure you get your tickets for the West Coast tour. Also at the link in the description. We love you guys, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday.